Good morning, science-minded learners. This is Teacher Mitzi, your physical science teacher. Last module, you have learned how to determine the polarity of bonds using the concept of electronegativity, wherein you will going to find the electronegativity difference of an atom or of the atoms in the molecule. You have also learned that polarity of molecules is affected by both the polarity of bonds and its molecular shape or geometry. So today we will learn about the polarity of molecules and its properties. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. So last module, you are able to have a polarity experiment where you are mixing substances, right? So from that experiment, what have you observed? Very good. So some of these substances did mix well together and created a homogeneous mixture, while others did not, right? So one of which is the mixture of water and oil. So why do you think water and oil cannot be mixed? Okay, so in this lesson, we will be able to answer this type of questions. So one of the practical applications of polarity of molecules in a real-life scenario is manifested on the solubility and miscibility of substances to form a solution. So now, let us learn what is solubility and miscibility and how can we determine the polarity of molecules through this. So first, let us discuss about solubility. So solubility is the ability of a solid substance to be dissolved in a given amount of solvent. So when we say solid substance, it is what we call the solute. So solute, yun yung natutunaw. Example of solute are sugar and salt. And when we say naman solvent, this is the one that dissolves the solute. And one of the example of solvent is water. So water is also known as the universal solvent. Okay? So next we have miscibility. So miscibility, it is the ability of two liquids to combine or mix in all proportion, creating a homogeneous mixture. So when we say homogeneous mixture, it is where the composition of the mixture is uniform all throughout. Okay? So one of the example based on your polarity experiment of homogeneous mixture are the mixture of water and vinegar, water and alcohol and vinegar, where they are mixed well together. So they are seen as one. So walang ibang mixture na makikita. Okay, so that is homogeneous mixture and that is miscibility. So the general rule to remember about solubility and miscibility is like dissolves like or like mixes with like. So this means that polar substances, when we are talking about polarity, will only be soluble or miscible with polar substances, and non-polar substances will only be mixed with non-polar substances. So based on your polarity experiment, those mixtures that are homogeneous or that are mixed well are of the same polarity. And the mixtures naman that didn't mix well together have different polarity. And that is what like dissolves like means. Did you get it, science-minded learners? Very good. So now let us identify which of the substances will most likely be mixed with each other. So first we must determine their polarity by simply identifying whether the valence electrons are equally distributed or if there are even distribution of electrons. So based on their Lewis structure. So we must again remember that polar is where electrons are not equally distributed, while nonpolars are atoms or molecules that has equal distribution of electrons. Again, polar, not equal distribution of electrons, nonpolar, equal distribution of electrons. So first, let us have water and chloroform. So first, we have the Lewis structure for water, and then we have here the Lewis structure for chloroform. Okay, now let us determine their polarity. So based on their Lewis structure. So as you can see, H2O, there are all electrons that are not yet bonded with other atoms. So this means that H2O, its electron is not equally distributed. So this means that it is a polar molecule. Next is we have CHCl3 or dichloroform. So as you can see, all of the valence electron of the central atom are um, bonded with other atom, right? But we have here hydrogen, which is not the same with the 3Cl. So this means unequal distribution of electrons. So chloroform is also a polar mixture or polar molecule. So we have here two polar molecules. So this means like dissolves like. So they are both polar, so they will be mixed well together. Okay? Next we have acetone and toluene. So we have here the Lewis dot structure for acetone, and we have here the Lewis dot structure for toluene. So first, acetone. So as you can see, they are not equally distributed. So electrons are not equally distributed since oxygen has electrons that are not yet paired with another atom. So this means an equal distribution of electrons. And it is a polar. Next, we have toluene. So as you can see, all of the um, electrons are bonded with hydrogen. And as you can see, all of the last element are hydrogen, right? So this means there are equal distribution of electrons. And this is a non-polar molecule. So non-polar molecule and polar molecule is a different polarity. So this means hindi siya magmi-mix well together. Okay? Next, we have water and vinegar. Okay, so water, this is the Lewis dot structure of water, and this is the Lewis dot structure of vinegar. So as you can see, an even distribution of electrons. So meron pang hindi nababond na electrons. So what we call the lone pair. Okay? Again, this also has a lone pair. So, yung mga hindi pa nababand na electrons to the other atom. So, this means both of this molecule is a polar substance. Okay? Or polar molecule. Again, like dissolves like. Okay? So, this means, like mixes with like. So, this means water and vinegar will mix well together. Okay, so that is how we identify the substances that will mix well together and the substances that will not be mixed well together. Did you get it, class? Very good. So now let us proceed to the bond strength and physical properties of a covalent compound. So before anything else, let us first discuss or know the difference between intramolecular forces of attraction and intermolecular forces of attraction. So first we have intramolecular forces of attraction. So it is a bonding forces that hold the atoms of a molecule together. So this happens within the atoms, okay? So an example of intramolecular forces of attraction is a chemical bonding. So it is where um, atoms are attracted to another atom. Okay, so we have here ionic bond, covalent bond, and metallic bond. So now we have here intermolecular forces of attraction. So these are forces of attraction between molecules, atoms, or ions. So here is an example. Okay, we have here water molecule. So here water molecule is attracted to another water molecule. So as you can observe, the positive side of this molecule is attracted to the negative side of this another molecule. So unlike sign, positive and negative attracts, right? So that is how intermolecular forces of attraction happen. So how can we differentiate polar and nonpolar molecules based on its intermolecular forces of attraction? Okay, so polar molecules, for example, we have here the water. They have partially positive and negative ends, right? Because they are an even distribution of electrons. So they have an even distribution of electrons, right? So the negative end of one molecule is attracted to the positive end of the other molecule. And the separation of charges results in a strong force of attraction between the molecules. So that is the polar molecules. So now we have nonpolar molecules. So an example of nonpolar molecule will be carbon dioxide. Okay. So they do not have positive or negative ends, since we all know that nonpolar molecules have equal distribution of electrons, right? So the attraction is very minimal, or they have little to none attraction between two neighboring nonpolar molecules. So we must also remember that like sign repels. That is why they only bounce with each other. So this means the attraction is very low. Okay? So that is how we differentiate polar and nonpolar molecules based on its intermolecular forces of attraction. Okay? Now let us have types of intermolecular forces of attraction, or the IMFA. But I will not be discussing so much detail of these types since it will be tackled to you in the next module. We will just focus on some points of intermolecular forces of attraction and its effect on the physical properties of covalent compounds such as polar and nonpolar covalent compounds. Okay, so we have here the types of intermolecular forces of attraction arranged from strongest to weakest. So we have here ion dipole as the strongest intermolecular forces of attraction. Next is the hydrogen bonding, the dipole-dipole, and the dipole-induced dipole. And then we have here London forces of attraction as the weakest. So I will not be going into details on the types of intermolecular forces of attraction since I will be discussing it on the next module. I will just introduce to you to these types to give you idea on its effect on physical properties of covalent compounds. So again, ion dipole as the strongest, and London forces of attraction as the weakest intermolecular forces of attraction. So now we have the summary of the types of intermolecular forces of attraction. So here are the intermolecular forces of attraction, their interacting substances, and some of the examples. So first, let us have ion dipole as the strongest intermolecular forces of attraction. It interacts with ionic molecule and polar molecule. Okay, so we have here an example. NaCl is an ionic molecule and it is dissolved in H2O, which is a polar molecule. So this is an example of ion dipole intermolecular forces of attraction. Another, we have Ca2 plus, and which is the ionic molecule, and it interacts with PCl3, which is a polar molecule. Okay, so next we have our hydrogen bonding. So hydrogen bonding, it is an interaction between polar molecules containing hydrogen that is chemically bonded to a small and highly electronegative non-metal atom such as nitrogen, oxygen, and fluorine. So if we saw a molecule that has hydrogen and is bonded to nitrogen, oxygen, and fluorine, that means the intermolecular forces of attraction between them is what we call the hydrogen bonding. So example, we have here H2O, NH3, CH3OH, okay? And we also have for fluorine HF, okay? Okay, so as you can see, hydrogen is bonded to oxygen, nitrogen, and fluorine. Okay? Here, oxygen naman. Okay? So that is hydrogen bonding. Okay? Always remember, hydrogen is bonded to oxygen, fluorine, and nitrogen. Okay? Next, we have dipole-dipole force of attraction. So it is an interaction between polar molecules. Okay, an example of that is CH3F and H2S. So it is a polar molecule. So both of these molecules are polar. And we also have here CH, HCl. Okay. Next is the dipole-induced dipole. So it is an interaction between polar and non-polar molecules. So you will ask, Ma'am, paano po nagkakaroon ng interaction between polar molecules and non-polar molecules since non-polar molecules have even distribution of electrons? So there will be a time na yung electrons nagmo-move sila, right? Pero in a short period of time lang yan. And then, when at some point, nagkaroon ng movement yung electrons from the other side, bali nagkumpulan sila sa other side, that is the time na mag-interact siya sa polar molecules. Okay? So, an example of that is hydrogen and iodine and then CH4. Okay? So, that is an example of dipole-induced dipole. Next, we have here London forces. Okay, same with dipole-induced dipole. Okay, so it is an interaction of substances between all substances and solely for non-polar molecules and noble gas. So again, same with the dipole-induced dipole. So at some point, non-polar molecules, yung electrons niya nagmo-move to another side, and that is the time where they are able to bond together with other molecules. So an example of that is O2, N2, He or helium gas and Br2. Okay, so that is the summary of intermolecular forces of attraction. So strong intermolecular forces of attraction tends to yield solid and liquids, while weak intermolecular forces of attraction favor formation of gases. Okay, again, strong intermolecular forces of attraction, solids and liquids. Weak intermolecular forces of attraction, gases. Okay? So the strength of intermolecular forces of attraction greatly affects the physical properties of substances. So what are these physical properties? So the first physical property of a substance is boiling point. So boiling point, it is the temperature at which the vapor pressure and atmospheric pressure of a liquid substance are equal. So when we say high boiling point, this means kinakailangan ng mas mataas na temperature to reach yung boiling point ng substance. And when we say naman low boiling point, it means na kinakailangan lamang ng mas mababang temperature para ma-reach yung boiling point ng isang substance. Okay? So next we have a melting point. So melting point, it is the temperature at which solid becomes liquid. At this point, the solid and liquid phases exist in equilibrium. So just like the boiling point, high melting point, this means kinakailangan ng mas mataas na temperature to reach the melting point of a substance for it to be liquid. Okay? And then, yung low naman yung melting point, this means na kinakailangan lamang ng mas mababang temperature para ma-reach yung melting point ng isang substance. Okay? Next, we have surface tension. So, it is the energy needed to increase the surface area by a unit amount. Okay? So, this is an example. So, high surface tension, in this case, helps needle with high density to float in water. Whereas kung low yung surface tension, it is where needle with high density will not float in water. Okay? So pag may high surface tension, needle will be floating. Pero kung may low surface tension, hindi magpo-float yung needle or any object with high density. Next, we have viscosity. So this is the resistance of the liquid to flow. So those substances with high viscosity, ibig sabihin magiging malapot yung substance or hindi talaga siya mag-flow. Whereas kung low yung viscosity naman, ibig sabihin hindi gaanong malapot yung substance. So for instance, this example here, this yellow substance has low viscosity compared to this clear substance kasi mas malapot ito compared dito. Okay? So next, we have vapor pressure. So this is the pressure exerted by a substance in its gaseous state. So this is the tendency of a material to change into gas state. So those substance with high vapor pressure means it does not evaporate easily. With those substance naman with low vapor pressure, it means it will evaporate easily. Okay? Lastly, we have volatility. So it measures the rate at which a substance vaporizes, changes from liquid to gas, or the tendency of a substance to evaporate at a normal temperature. So those substances with high volatility is more likely to exist as a vapor or gas. And those substances naman with low volatility is more likely to be a liquid or solid. Okay? So how does the strength of intermolecular forces of attraction affects the physical property of a substance? So first, the increase of the strength of intermolecular forces of attraction means boiling point, melting point, viscosity, and surface tension increases. So in other words, pag malakas daw yung strength of intermolecular forces of attraction, mataas yung kanyang boiling point, melting point, viscosity, and surface tension. The increase of the strength of intermolecular forces of attraction means vapor pressure and volatility decreases. So, in other words, pag malakas daw yung strength of intermolecular forces of attraction, ibig sabihin yung kanyang vapor pressure and volatility is mababa. Okay? London dispersion forces increases as the molecular mass of a substance increases. So what is this molecular mass? It is the mass of a molecule. So paano ba natin makikita or mahanap yung molecular mass? So we will just simply add the atomic mass of every atoms or elements present in the molecule. Next, in hydrogen bonding, as the molar mass increases, boiling point, melting point, viscosity, and surface tension decreases. So that is how the strength of intermolecular forces of attraction affects the physical properties of a substance. Now let us have an activity. Let us put check to those properties applicable for polar molecules. So let us take note that polar molecules, most of them has strong intermolecular forces of attraction. So between high boiling point and low boiling point, saan mas applicable yung polar molecule? Very good. It is in the high boiling point. Okay? Next, between high melting point and low melting point, saan mas applicable si polar molecule? Very good. It is in the high melting point. Okay? So next, we have a high volatility and low volatility. So, nasan dyan yung applicable sa polar molecule? Very good. It is the low volatility. Okay? Next, between high vapor pressure and low vapor pressure, saan mas applicable si polar molecule? Very good. It is in the low vapor pressure. Okay? Lastly, between high surface tension and low surface tension, saan mas applicable si polar molecule? Very good. It is in the high surface tension. Okay? So these physical properties that have checked, it is where polar molecule is applicable. Okay? Very good. So here's the general properties of polar and non-polar molecules. So in polar molecules, the intermolecular forces of attraction is hydrogen bonding and dipole-dipole. So it exists as solids or liquids at room temperature. And it has high boiling point, high melting point, high surface tension, low vapor pressure, low volatility, and it is soluble in water since like mixes with like and like dissolves in like. Okay? Next, for nonpolar molecules, intermolecular forces of attraction present is London dispersion. It exists as gas at room temperature. It has low boiling point, low melting point, low surface tension, high vapor pressure, high volatility, and it is not soluble in water or insoluble in water. Okay, so that is the properties of polar and non-polar molecules. And that's all about polarity of molecules and its properties. Thank you for watching Science Minded Learners. I hope you have learned something from this discussion. Until our next fun filled science adventure. Bye!